Miss Strangeworth was a pleasant woman. Everywhere she went, she had to say hello to someone. She knew everyone in town. She was fond of telling all the people that passed by her beautiful rose garden that she had never left the town her whole life. She would always tell everyone that her grandfather had built the first house on Pleasant Street. Tourists would often ask Miss Strangeworth if they could buy some of her roses, but she would never give away any of them. As she passed by everyone, she did her daily routine and walked into the grocery store. The Lewis family had been in town almost as long as Miss Strangeworth had been. The day Tommy Lewis had finished high school and started working at the grocery, Miss Strangeworth had stopped calling him Tommy and started calling him Mr. Lewis.
Morning. Lovely day, isn't it?
It's very nice to meet you. Chocolate, Mr. Lewis. Small thing for your chocolate. Little strawberries and water colors. They're really this year.
We brought them in this morning.
Sure, the box of those. And for Kevin Caffrey, I think. And a tomato.
Did I? I'm truly sorry.
Imagine you forgetting always was not very cheap. Won't you have a ticket, Mr. Lewis?
Morning, Martin. Lovely day, isn't it?
Yes, lovely. Ran out of sugar for my cake frosting. It's the most important part for a successful cake.
Martin, you don't look so well. Are you
No.
doing all right?
I'm all right.
You don't look so well.
All right.
Action! Carrying her bags out of the store, Miss Strangeworth walks into the bright sunlight. She sees the Crane family and stops to say hello. She begins to look at the baby.
The little girl is growing up expecting luxury all her life. A princess can see a lot of trouble sometimes. How old is her highness now? 6 months on Tuesday. I've been worrying, though, about her. Don't you think she ought to move around more? Try to sit up places. She seems kind of slow. Nonsense. All babies are different. Some of them develop quicker than others. Has Don gotten all worked up about the fact that his daughter is 6 months old and hasn't begun to walk? I haven't mentioned it to her. I suppose she's just some precious, but I worry about her all the time. Well, apologize to her right now. She's probably worried about why I keep jumping around all the time.
Action. Miss Strangeworth wasn't always thinking that so many people seemed disturbed recently. Miss Strangeworth turned to see that little Linda was running down the block crying. She thought that people might think she got into a fight with the Harris boy, but that was not the case. She saw the two up at the soda shop just later on.
Like her on the rocks.
Miss Strangeworth's house was perfect. Every window sparkled, every curtain hung stiff and straight, and even the stones of the front walk were swept to perfection. People around town were puzzled on how Miss Strangeworth always kept her house looking the same way it did. Miss Strangeworth never knew when she might feel like writing a letter. She didn't use her usual stationery with her name on the top. Instead, she pulled out a pad of various colors of paper. Everyone in town usually used the same pad of paper for writing notes or shopping lists. Miss Strangeworth thought for a moment, and then began to write on a pink sheet of paper. The letter wrote, "Didn't you ever see an idiot child before? Some people just shouldn't have children, should they?" She was pleased with this letter, so she put it in an envelope and sealed it away. Next, Miss Strangeworth pulled out a yellow piece of paper. She thought for a moment, and then began to write. She wrote quickly. "Have you ever found out yet what they were all laughing about after you left the bridge club on Thursday? Or is the wife always really the last one to know?" Miss Strangeworth thought that if she had never written any of her letters, then the people might all be filled with evil. Mr. Lewis wouldn't have found out that his son was taking petty cash from the register. Miss Strangeworth was very alert about the evil in the world. An idea then came to Miss Strangeworth. She pulled out a blue piece of paper and addressed it to Mr. Foster, who was having an operation next month. She said, "You never know about doctors. Remember, they're only human and need money like the rest of us. Suppose the knife slipped accidentally. Would Dr. Burns get his fee and a little extra from that nephew of yours?" She put away her writing supplies and went to the kitchen. She then walked up the stairs into her bedroom for a short nap after writing her letters for the day. Her bedroom had remained the same as it was when her mother and grandmother were living there. No one dared to disturb Miss Strangeworth. She was a peaceful lady. She laid down for her afternoon nap, knowing that tomorrow she'd be able to deliver the letters to make just one bit of good occur in this evil world. Miss Strangeworth knew that there was only one place in town she could mail her letters. She always made a point to deliver her letters very secretly. It would not have been wise for her to let anyone see her mail them. There would always be a group of boys hanging around outside the post office.
Hello,
She was
Hello, boys.
Miss Strangeworth walked up to the mail slot. The boys moved out of the way so she could reach it. Miss Strangeworth heard crying from a distance. She turned and listened. It was poor Linda Stewart. She sighed. She grabbed the 3 letters and put them in the mailbox. 2 slid in nicely. 1 got caught and fell outside.
Miss Strangeworth, you dropped your letter.
Miss Strangeworth didn't hear the Harris boy calling out to her, so she continued on her way home.
Old lady Strangeworth's getting deaf.
Well, who cares? Who cares anymore anyway?
Action.
This letter is for Don Crane. She dropped a letter addressed to Don Crane. Might as well take it on over to his house. We passed by it anyway. Maybe it's just a check or something in it, and he'd just be as glad to have it tonight instead of tomorrow.
Catch old lady Strangeworth sending anyone a check? Throw it in the post office. Why do anyone a favor? Doesn't seem to me anyone around here cares about us. Why should we care about them?
I'll take it over anyway. Maybe it's good news for them. Maybe they need something happy too, like us.
Miss Strangeworth awakened the next morning with a feeling of happiness, but she didn't know why. Then she remembered that the people would be opening up the letters today. She then walked downstairs and saw what looked to be one of her letters. It was in a green envelope on the floor, and she had wondered how it had gotten there. Miss Strangeworth grabbed the letter and opened it up. She began to read. Look at what your roses used to be.
Possibility of Evil.
Action.
Okay, so that's a fail.
Action.
No. Just wait.
Action.
And he has a crush on his nanny. That was his first kiss. Oh, after this. Oh, and he's just a lonely guy. Oh, and oh, and oh, and yeah, real cool guy.
That was for you and you.